Hello there. My name's Lorraine with Crafty Therapy by Elle. I'm just pulling up the channel so I can see comments. Just give you a minute to come on. As you come on, say hi. See if I have sound. Yep, sound is good. Today I'm going to be making some bows using my Easy Bow Maker. I have my self-healing mat on the bottom. Of course, my deluxe Easy Bow Maker. You can find these on Amazon and any of the craft stores. I have a bunch of 8-inch zip ties in different colors. I have a few pipe cleaners or chenille stems in different colors to match the bows. I've got my nice sharp wire cutters and one of my favorite pairs of sharp scissors. So let's get started. The first one I'm going to be making is a bow that's going to go on one of my marine wreaths. I have an order from my Etsy shop, so I figured I would get that one done. I have this pretty 2.5-inch ribbon, wired ribbon. Just making sure that you can see what I'm doing, not so much of a mess. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, the Easy Bow Maker comes with a ruler on it, which only goes up to 8 inches. So I'm using my self-healing mat, which has a ruler on the bottom to extend it, because I usually do my tails about 10 inches. So I measured that out. I put it in the hands, or the fingers, I think they call it. I did a twist. And I'm going to measure just short of 6 inches. So 6-inch loop. I'm going to do a twist. That way the pattern side is up. This is not double-sided ribbon, so you have to do that twist to bring it back up. And on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. A little less than 6 inches. And I'm going to do, I'm just going to check. Yeah, 2 loops. Just wanted to make sure that I'm making it the right way as I have it on Etsy. So 2 loops of this, and every time I do the twist, I measure, make sure that my loops are equal. And I'm going to measure out my tails to make sure they're even. And cut it off. The next one I'm going to bring in, and I use these little, these little pins to hold my ribbons together. That way they don't flop all over the place when they're being stored. Next is my Marines ribbon. As you come on, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. I was on a little bit earlier this morning making 2 happy birthday wreaths. So if you missed that, you can go back after the live and watch that. I will show them in the end because I was just waiting for my signs to dry. And I'll show you how those turned out. So I'm coming in a little bit shorter on the next ribbon. Again, doing my twist. So my pattern side is up. And I'm going to use 1 loop of this one. Bring it down, measure out my loops. This is going to go on a 2-toned burlap wreath. I do a red and tan burlap wreath for the Marines. For the Army, I do a green and tan. can check that out in my Etsy shop if you're interested, craftytherapybyl.etsy.com. So I have two loops, one loop. Now I'm going to bring in the yellow. Yellow is for the deployment. I'm adding it to the fingers, and I'm going to do 2 loops on each side of this one. Coming in shorter. Now, even though this one is technically double-sided, it's the same on both sides, I still do that loop. I still do that twist. It helps to support the ribbon, and it's just a good habit to get into so that you don't forget to do it. I have the other bow makers that they make, the Bow Dabra, the Pro Bow the Hands, but I always come back to this one. I just find it's the easiest to use. When I do my big Christmas tree topper bows, then I'll pull out the big Pro Bow the Hands and use that. And the last ribbon I'm going to use is this red, white, and blue. And this is going to be 1 loop. If you have any questions, write them in the chat. I know my chat was very delayed this morning, or people weren't talking for quite a bit. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. So I'm making this a little bit shorter than the last layer. I'm going to measure it up. Okay, we're done with that. All right, so we're going to spread out our ribbons. We're going to do 1 up, 1 down. The Marines one stays in the middle. 1 up, 1 down. And I like to fluff out my bow and round out my loops before I take it out of the bow maker. Okay, now the only thing I need to do is this needs to be on top. The stars need to be on top. So I'm going to go underneath, and I'm just going to give this a twist. Okay. And then same thing on the bottom, 1 twist. That way we can respect the flag as it was intended, even though it's not a flag, it's a representation, but I know that's important to our military, and this is obviously going to a military Marine's mom or wife or whoever. Okay, so that's all in place. I'm going to take my 8-inch zip tie. I'm coming underneath all the way, under all the layers. I'm coming up the middle, and I'm going to secure it, but I'm not going to pull it fully tight. Okay? Make sure everything stays in place. Now I'm going to slide it up and secure it a little bit more, but I didn't pull it completely tight. Oops. I'm taking my zip tie, I'm moving it to the back, tightening it up a little bit more. I'm going to take my red zip tie, feed it through the back, halfway through. Now I can tighten it up and trim that off. And I take the chenille stems or pipe cleaners and I'm holding it like a little handle. And now I'm just going to fluff out my bow. Now everything's nice and secure in there, so I really can pull on the ribbons and really give it nice shape. This is really nice wired ribbon, so it holds its shape nicely. You put your fingers in there, you round out the loops. Make sure everything's in place. Okay, so first one done. This is going to go on a burlap wreath that will be shipped out today. Pretty, right? Okay, so that's the first one. Let's get rid of these out of the way. Okay, so the next one I need to work on, I have a customer that's interested in purchasing a St. Patrick's Day. She just ordered a Easter wreath and she wanted to get some St. Patrick's Day bows. So I wanted to work on that so I can get that listed in my shop. I have a few other ones, but I had this one in mind, so I wanted to add to it. And these bows are great. They can go on wreaths, they can go on baskets, on the handle. They can go on mailboxes, gift baskets, lanterns, really anywhere that you just want to, existing wreaths that you already have and you just want to change out a bow for the season. So if you have like a plain burlap wreath or a plain greenery wreath, you just switch out the bow and then you can have a new wreath for pretty much every month or every holiday. Okay, so I'm going to make this, again, about 10 inches. And I'm doing the twist. This is a nice green canvas ribbon. Nice quality, nice and thick. It holds up. Always want to make sure that you're using wired ribbon. I don't like using satin ribbon. It really doesn't hold its shape generally. Don't bother with the dollar store ribbons. Generally, very, very rarely will I find a nice quality. And the ones that you do, you're really not getting a great deal because it's only, what is it, 9 feet at $1.25, and that really doesn't come out to any great deal. Okay, so this I'm going to do 3 loops at about 6 inches on each side. It's going to be a nice big bow. I've got lots of other videos on bow making. If you go back and subscribe to my channel, you can go back to the other videos on bow making and wreath making, and I have a bunch of videos that I break it down from basically start to finish, how to make the wreath frame. Oh, you know what I didn't do on the other one? I didn't dovetail. I'll pull that back, but I didn't dovetail which I do at the end, the ends, which I'll do that before we get off here. So yeah, lots of videos on how to create a wreath, how to make bows. Okay, so next I'm going to pull in this adorable ribbon. Isn't that cute? Little leprechaun hat. Very festive. Okay, so I did my twist, and I'm going to come in a little bit shorter, maybe about a ½ inch shorter of the last one, so this would be about 5½ inches. And I make all different kinds of recipes, we call it, for bow making. So this is going to be a 3-2-1. I make, 2-1-2, whatever I'm kind of feeling for the project. There's no right or wrong. And if you don't like how it looks, you just take it apart and do it again. But again, you really want to start out with quality ribbon, and that's really going to help your bow making. Okay, so I've got 2 loops of this. I'm going to pull it down, measure it off, and I'm done with this ribbon. Okay, next, let's see. I think I want to pull in this. It's got the black, and the edge has a little bit of gold, just like in the hat, the leprechaun hat. And it's nice to change up the patterns. Makes it for a more interesting bow. Coming in a little shorter, about a ½ inch shorter from the last ones, and I'm going to do 1 loop on each side. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me know if you're a wreath maker, if you make bows, if you're a crafter, you like to learn new things. This is how I started wreath making about 6.5, 7 years ago. Just watching YouTube videos, Facebook videos. Okay, and then I'm gonna finish it off. This one or this one. Too much stripes, so I'm gonna go with this one. And I like how the edge has that black and white check, and it'll tie in the last ribbon. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you find this helpful, I would love for you to subscribe. I'm going to try to do more videos. I won't be on tomorrow, but I will try again and go live on Wednesday. Late morning, early afternoon, kind of see how. I'm not one of those that, you know, have a set day and time. It all depends on what orders I have for the day and what's going on for the day, so. So I did 3, 2, 1, 2. That's my recipe for today. Seem to be making a lot of these lately because they seem to be selling well in my Etsy shop. Okay, so I'm 1 up, 1 down. I'm going from bottom up. 1 up, 1 down. I leave this one in the middle. Same thing on the other side. 1 up, 1 down. I like to keep my finger here so that everything, you can see it starts raising out so nothing falls out. So 1 up, 1 down. 1 up, 1 down. Keep moving everything where I want it to be. I'm holding it down so nothing's gonna fly out. The stripe is going to stay right in the middle. Thank you. Welcome. So I'm pulling and I'm putting all the loops where I want it to be. And I'm fluffing them as I go. So I'm putting my fingers right in the middle and I'm rounding it out, each loop. That looks good to me. So what I can do now is I'm just going to take my ends. Am I on camera for this? And I'm just cutting it at an angle just to finish it off. You can do a dovetail, you can angle it, whatever you prefer. Bows are one of the harder things to learn, but it's just all about practicing, 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 practicing with good quality ribbon. I'm going to use a green one, green zip tie. I'm going to come underneath, all the way on the bottom, all of the layers, and up the middle. And I'm going to secure it. So I secured it, but I didn't pull it fully tight. Okay, so I'm going to lift up, pull it a little bit more, but not fully, so that I can still rotate it to the back. And I'm going to take my green pipe cleaner, thread it underneath. Sometimes it takes me a minute, depending on how much I pulled it. Okay, pull it halfway through. Now I can secure it. Cut that off. I'm going to use the pipe cleaner as my handle. Flip it over. I'm making bows, wreath bows, lantern bows. The first one I made was this beautiful Marines bow, which will go on a burlap wreath order that I have from my Etsy shop. And this one is a St. Patrick's Day bow. So now I'm just going around and fluffing them all out. And moving all of the tails up to the front. Not pretty. Oh, I love this. That'll look beautiful on a wreath. I have one. This is a burlap wreath that I made a couple of days ago that I didn't finish. So if you have a plain burlap wreath, whether it's tan or green, then you just take it, you add it right to the wreath. And these are great for the front door, over a mantle, on the wall. So that one will be listed in my Etsy shop later on today after I take the pictures. Just want to bring this one back so I don't forget to angle my ends. You can find the bow maker on Amazon. I'll have a link down below after the live. I'll add all that information. You can also usually find them in most of the craft stores. It's worth the investment and getting used to how to use it. Can make hand bows, bows by hand also, but it's tiresome. Your hands start hurting after a while, having to hold all the loops together. Okay, and the last one I wanted to get done today. Just make some room. These were just extra. I wasn't sure if I was going to use them. Usually I'm building the bow and it kind of comes together. I always bring a couple of extras just in case. So this last one is going to be like a farmhouse Easter spring bow. See, this is what I was talking about. This is why I put this is why I put a pin, because then it gets all crazy and unraveled. This one I just opened, that's why I didn't have a pin in it yet. So that, again, I bought extra ones. I wasn't sure which ones I was going to use. I think I'm going to start out with this one. This was actually something that I bought for the fall. And then I pulled this out, which was a really pretty spring carrot ribbon. And I said, wow, those two look really pretty together. So. Oh, you're welcome, Brenda. Welcome. So I'm going to do that 10-inch tail again. So usually I try to store away my seasonal ribbon, like very, very specific seasonal ribbon, in separate bins after the season or the holiday has passed. But something like this, I keep out year round because you never know when you're going to have the need for it. And I'm glad that I left this one out because this, I wasn't even thinking for spring, and I thought this goes great with that carrot ribbon. Okay, so again, I did the 10-inch tail, and I'm doing about 6-inch loops on each side. I am twisting. This is a really thick ribbon, so you got to really give it a nice hard twist. And I'm going to do, again, 3 loops on each side. This is going to be a nice big bow. I could see this also. Sometimes you get those big wooden or metal bunnies that stand up like on a fireplace or on a porch. I could see one of these big bows added to his neck also. I have a welcome sign outside, like those porch leaners. And it's just welcome. It's got like a little, I think actually one side says welcome. The other side says Happy Easter. And what I do is for the welcome, it has a little hole on top, is I add a bow to it for every season. So I kind of change it out. I do have to flip it around because it needs to get that Happy Easter one showing. Okay, so we have 3 loops at 6 inches. We're going to bring in this carrot ribbon, which is super fun. Nice canvas ribbon. And I'm going to do 2 loops. I'm giving it that sharp twist so that the pattern side is on the top. And I'll be doing it 2 loops of this, and you see I'm coming in a little bit shorter, about a 1/2 inch shorter from the last set of ribbons. Measuring them up. I'm done with that. If you're just joining and you find this video helpful, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. That way you get notified when I upload new videos or go live. Okay, so I have 3, 2. Now I'm going to, I think I'm going to bring this beautiful green ribbon. I like to switch up, mix lots of different patterns and lots of different colors, as long as they're all complementing each other, which these are beautifully. Don't be afraid to use pattern. Use patterns, solids, whatever looks good to you. So there's going to be 1 loop of this, a little bit shorter than that last one. So these, the bottom two were 2.5-inch wired ribbons, and this green one is 1.5-inch wired ribbons. And then I'm going to finish out the bow with 1.5-inch. Okay. So I think I'm going to bring this pop of orange in, the solid orange, 1.5-inch, with this fun little ruffle on the edge. This was new this year. Actually, I had never seen ribbon with that edge on it. So even though it is the same on both sides, I'm still going to do the twist. It supports and builds up the base of the ribbon, and it's just a good habit to get into. So this will be 2 loops. Again, it came in a little bit shorter, about 1/2 inch shorter. Thank you, Naomi. Practice, practice, practice. That's what it's all about. They were a hot mess in the beginning, for sure. I tried different bow makers until I found the one that I was comfortable with. But using quality ribbon is key, and practice. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, 2. And just to be a little extra, we're going to do 1 middle loop. And let's see, which one do I want to finish off with? Let's see, stripes or Swiss dots. Can't go wrong with either, I don't think. I think I'm going to go stripes. I'm going to go bold. Okay, so now for the middle one, this is a little bit different. So we're putting it in. We're doing the twist. We're making 1 loop. And then we're coming out that other side. And that's it. Welcome, everyone. I don't know if I'm just seeing the chat from earlier or you guys are just started commenting. The same thing happened this morning. It was like a very long delay before I started seeing comments. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread out my loops, 1 up, 1 down, starting from the bottom, working my way up. 1 up, 1 down. This middle one stays. This green one stays. And now I'm going to start holding it down with my finger so they don't start flying out. 1 up, 1 down. Okay. And now I'm going to do the other side. 1 up, 1 down. And I'm rounding out the loops as I go. Before I secure everything, I want everything round, pretty much in place. Put your fingers in, fluff out those loops. Now this middle one, both of my tails are going to stay on the one side, and I'm going to show you how to fix that in the end. Taking my 8-inch zip tie, I'm going to come all the way underneath and up the middle. This is a big bow, so not much room on this zip tie. I'm going to secure it. Make sure everything is where I want it. Now I'm going to pull it out and start securing it. But I haven't pulled it completely tight yet so that I can move it to the back. I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, pull it through halfway. Now I can secure it really tight. Trim that off. Take my pipe cleaners and hold it. Flip it over, and now I can start fluffing out my loops and smoothing out my tails. So I'm giving it a pull and I'm giving it a smooth, like a curve. Check my loops. And do the other side. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give it a little turn and bring it over. So I just kind of twisted it so that it comes onto the other side. And now you have that center loop. Hi Sarah, we're making bows. Making wreath bows. This is a spring Easter bow. We just made a Marines one as well as a St. Patrick's Day one. Pretty. Very pretty spring-like. I could see this on a burlap bow or a a burlap wreath or a greenery wreath. This is beautiful ribbon, so it's really holding its shape nicely. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is to trim our ends. You just cut it at an angle, just to finish it off. Going the opposite way on the other side. What did I do? Oh, good thing I didn't cut that. This greenery goes on, this green one goes on that side. Like I said, you can dovetail it. Dovetailing is basically just folding it over and then cutting it at an angle. Some people like to do that. Lately, I've been doing just this angle for my bows. So there we go. We made 3 bows in under 40 minutes using the Easy Bow Maker. So there's this one. This will be listed in my Etsy shop later on this afternoon after I get all the pictures taken. And this will go on my Marines wreath that I will finish up this afternoon. And a beautiful St. Patrick's Day bow. So that was on this live. And then this morning, for those that joined me, this was what we made this morning. I had an order for 2 birthday wreaths. So the sign is hand painted. I finished it with my Cricut. So you can go back and check that out. This is made thin for a storm door. So those will ship today. And this was one that I just have to secure the sign. This is one of my local orders. A little hard to see with the light, the sunshine coming through, but he is really, really cute, really full, lots of beautiful ribbon and layers. So if you're interested in any of these, you can check out my Etsy shop, craftytherapybyl.etsy.com. I hope this is helpful. Please consider subscribing, and I will see you on Wednesday again. Have a great week.